what does music mean to you?
Wow. It's difficult to answer this question without sounding maybe cliched or something. But, I've kind of made music something that interferes with every part of my life,
Right.
So it's my livelihood, is the way I feed my family. It's also my source of meditation and peace.
Right.
It can be very stressful, but it's my entire it has something to do with my entire existence, even my relationship with my mother. We can talk about music from her time, and that's how we connect, because I'm also sampling old music all the time, so
Right.
then it gives me an opportunity to speak to my mom about
Right.
the 70s and how she was enjoying her life, and so it's a big part of everything that I do.
Your kind of reasoning on materials, which means your joint or the songs you churn out, is quite different. It feels like it's like 20 years, 2 decades from now. Do you also hold on to that? Do you believe the kind of songs you churn out is like 2 decades? Let's say we're in 2023, so somewhere
Yeah, later,
thereabout.
though, yeah. I mean, I don't go into the studio thinking I'm going to make futuristic, and also generally the rule is you don't go into a studio thinking that you want to make to get a specific reaction from people.
Right.
You want to go into the studio and be as honest creatively as possible, So if you go to a studio and like, oh, I had to go make a club banger, 9 out of 10 times it's not going to happen. You have to be inspired, you
Right.
know? So we try to be inspired. We try to inspire each other and just really zone in and create honestly.
Okay.
You know?
Where come you inspire Kobolo? Kobolo inspires you, or you tap from some realm?
We challenge each other
Okay.
to inspire each other,
Right.
And we discuss things. We used to really talk about really like high level things and then try and simplify it,
Right.
Like the concept of religion, or even like sexuality or mental health, or these kind of things, racism, all these things. We really have really deep conversations, and then there's always a funny side to everything,
Right.
and just not reduce it, but simplify it to a normal conversation that anybody can have. And that's when people listen to it, they see the realness or the humanity in those things.
Yeah.
And that's why people think it's 20 years ahead of its time. It's just that we are not making very honest music all the time, because everybody there's a big competition of who's going to make the next banger or the next radio hit or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is fine, But then it's almost like there's a small space and everybody's trying to fit into that space, and we found another space. So later, when they're tired of this and they come there, then they feel like, oh, this is so ahead of its time, but it really is there. It's there. We're just not paying attention to it.
Bro, you've had opportunity to work with the likes of the Wu-Tang Clan, the Roots. How does that experience make you feel?
I mean, like, this Ghana boy, where I'm from, where I go there on the same stage with these guys, It just kind of makes you feel like if you work hard, and I mean, anything can happen. It just makes you feel like anything can happen. Anything is possible. Just stay focused on your craft. It can go any direction, and just be ready for opportunity when it comes knocking on the door. It's like ended up in the studio with Erykah Badu, some musicians who don't mean anything, maybe in the Ghana environment, but elsewhere. It's like, these are like big world-class musicians, like, the Gorillaz, Damon Albarn, like these guys, working with De La Soul, all these guys, So it's like these are the people I grew up listening to. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I would be on tour, like opening for Raekwon, you know what I mean?
Right.
That kind of, it's
Big,
like,
big.
so
Big.
it's but also, I mean, even like doing a song with Tony Allen, so Tony Allen, for those who don't know, is a Ghanaian Nigerian drummer.
Right.
But whose drummer is he? He's Fela Kuti's drummer.
Right.
Now, if you talk about Afrobeats, Afrobeats is about the drums. So who do you think invented Afrobeat?
Fela Kuti.
Fela Kuti's drummer.
Right.
And I'm on stage, or actually in the studio, designing music and like, talking about how, he's gonna play on my song, and you know where to come in and what to do and so on and so forth. Like those are the things that really, you know, and Sheung Kuti and you know the brothers, Femi Kuti, all these guys, you know, it's like had the opportunity to work with these guys and go on the road with them, you know, and every turn is a learning experience for me. You know?
As you speak, I see you talking from your heart, not your brains. I see you talking from your heart.
Yeah, that'd be the gift of music, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
How can musicians over here in Ghana also get to the stage you are or you is now,
or even beyond, because
even beyond?
Yeah, you know.
How can they do that?
I mean, look, there's no one way of doing it, you know. Some of it, some will say is luck. Some of it too, it's about being prepared, you know, and mastering your craft so that if opportunity comes knocking, you are ready.
You're ready.
You know, but you have to master your craft. You have to spend time with yourself to really discover what it is that you are bringing to the table that nobody else is bringing. Because if you go and, I want to sound like Sack, I want to sound like Medica, I want to sound like Stone Boy, then there's already a Stone Boy, there's already a Sack, so you cannot occupy that space. You know, so what is it that you are bringing to the table, and how can you hone those skills? You know, identity is quite important when you're making music, because you can stand strong anywhere. You can look. I've been in environments where the like big musicians who have achieved everything, who are wowed by the biggest nobody in the room, just because that person has a sense of self identity. They know who they are. They know what they are bringing to the table. They are asserted so this kind of self-confidence that is not like annoying, but it's like, I know who I am, I know what I'm bringing, and they just wow the room every time. So it's about developing self, you know.
What influenced your
my locks,
your locks cut?
Oh, this story of my locks, you know, the whole reason why I was growing locks is because I didn't know what to do with my hair, but I felt like I wanted my hair to grow, you know, and then if it grows, and my hair was growing very fast, so I was like, okay, this looks cool, and I don't have to spend too much time taking care of it. But then it grew very fast, and then on the last shoot of Cause of Money 2, we went to a chop bar, and I ordered for Mutuo, and then Katin Kwai, and then when they brought the food and I just leaned forward, my hair just fell into the food like that. And I was like, oh, and then when I pulled up,
it's spilled on your shirt.
My t-shirt was, you know, today is the day. So there was no kind of, I think I was already thinking about it because my hair was getting a bit stressful, like, you know, having to twist it, and it's like, you know, I didn't have time, you know. At that time, I'd also just become a father, you know. And it's like, just trying to figure out the new kind of, you know, direction of things, you know. But there's no real reason. I've been tempted. I often have big afros, you know. This is the shortest I've had my hair in a very long time. You know.
How long has this been?
Oh, like a week.
A week. Right now, what can artists do to, if not be on the same platform that you've been? For instance, rocking with the likes of the Wu-Tang, the Roots, Raekwon, and the likes. What can artists do? Because we want to push our GH artists or our Ghanaian artists on other platforms.
Bro, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, I cannot also pretend as if, you know, I didn't have some small privileges, you know?
Okay.
You know, I was lucky also to have had people who took an interest in me and supported my career. But if I'm being real, Ghanaian musicians are doing everything they can. Without a support system. Without the education, without the funding, without an infrastructure.
Can I come in here? I'm not cutting you.
No, me too.
But since '97, you have never been under any record label.
No.
You've been doing it, and you're doing it till you've rocked stages with all these big cats in the world of music. Same way I'm asking, what can you share, 1 or 2 pointers that these musicians who are watching us right now can also do to either be on the same platform or even bigger platforms that you've been on?
I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, apart from the fact that, you know, I committed myself to my craft, which I recommend for everyone. opportunity also plays a big role,
Right.
especially here in Ghana. You know, so I don't want to. It's not an attempt to kind of like, oh, the government didn't do this or this. But actually, you go feel have all the talent in the world, and if you don't have opportunity, sometimes it just stays within the four walls of your mother's house.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's why I said like Ghanaian musicians are already doing quite a lot. There's a lot of miseducation. We don't know certain things like work ethics, being punctual, you know, honesty, being direct, you know, giving credit where it's due, you know, showing up on time, putting extra work, developing your skills. All those things is there. But a lot of those things to also come with, I believe, like we have to be empathetic to the conditions of Ghanaian artists.
Right.
It's really difficult. You know, you have to be an entrepreneur to be able to survive. If you have some business skill, if you have somebody on your side, your friend who is now your camera person, who is now your social media person, who is now helping you to pay for studio or buy a sound card to record or all those kind of things, you know. So I don't want to, there's no point where I'll criticize an artist.
Right.
Because we don't have all the tools. We just have art to share.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that in different parts of the world, there is investment in artists.
Right.
We have to invest in artists and it will pay off. You know, the image of Yankee is not purely just because of scientists and businessmen and whatnot.
Right.
It's artists. Artists make scientists look cool. Artists make Tesla look cool. Artists make basketball players look cool. Artists make phones and for instance iPhones and Galaxies.
Gadgets.
It's artists who are creating that stuff,
Right.
who are giving us the ideas, who are creating films and giving us the possibility of the future.
Right.
But you have to invest in them. You have to educate them. You have to make them feel like they are playing an important role. Not every day now, a friend saying a engineer. Not every day is a friend saying quantity surveyor and doctor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We have to treat the arts like it's just as important as being a pilot or anything, you know. Our attitude towards the arts is changing through the years. It's changing now, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, parents are investing, like teaching children, you know, friends, their kids, like music or learning an instrument and so forth. But we need to invest in the arts, invest in our museums, invest in the children going to art spaces to see painters just painting something to just inspire the brain, you know.
Right.
That's why I said, like me, I'm privileged in a sense, you know. I didn't grow up rich, but I had opportunities, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I had opportunities. People were there to help me. Shout out to David Bolton, who I was in his house every day at 8 a.m.
Wow.
Just trying to clean the studio equipment small so that he would let me switch on something and just play something small, you know. And then he was like, okay, this guy is for real.
Right.
And so he started teaching me and talking to me. And, you know, to all the guys who have given me their time, I say thank you now. But if I didn't get that opportunity, it would stay in my room.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think right now what we all need to do, because, see, people close to you don't want to share your works. They don't want to support you.
That'd be the thing.
They'll support people they don't know. They will be sharing links.
Jay-Z new rap.
Then post down.
Yeah.
Then you go share the artwork and everything. But the person you know, you don't want to support.
Yeah. So maybe
Why
one
are
thing
we
is
like
to,
this?
as an artist, you need to find yourself, your support system, your crew. You have to have an eye for the people who appreciate your art and banker them and bring them in, and people who share your vision, you know? And then that's the thing. People who are thinking what you are thinking, but even in a clearer form. You have to find yourself that team, your clan, you know?
Right.
You didn't hear? Because or else you'll be around people who are working with you for the benefit of what you can give them. And then they go share this thing.
Yeah.
Meek Mills in bars.
Bro, before you take leave of us, there's a statement you made with respect to John Dumelo and Fred Nyama.
Yeah.
And I want to let me go.
I know what I said.
You know what you said. You know what you said. What do you say is a bad idea, though?
Look, man. I mean, I want to see people putting in the time. Like I've put in the time to do what I do, you know. And I don't want the youth of Ghana to be played around with, you know. So I don't want people to become politicians because it's an opportunity, it's a wealth escape. You know what I mean? I'm not implicating myself by saying that, but I just want to make sure that when people start standing for these positions,
Parliamentary
and all these kind of things, they have good intentions. And from my observations, some of these characters, I worry.
So John Dumelo and Fred Nyama, they don't qualify.
I don't care too much about those two guys. It's not that they don't qualify. Me personally, I don't. But who cares what? Twitter is a platform where everybody speaks their, their.
But
their
I'm
opinion.
saying, what makes you make that statement?
From
that
my observations and from what I know of some people, which could include some of these people.
Could you tell me some of the things you know?
Oh, no,
like just one of the things you know.
You said it yourself. From 1997.
Yeah.
I've seen things. And I've been in spaces because of my character that people don't even know that I'm there when I'm
So
there.
you still stand by the fact that it's a bad idea to give John Dumelo and of course Fred Nyama the opportunity to be parliamentarians?
Look at the interaction between the two of them.
Okay.
That should tell you enough.
Right.
If you look at the interaction between the two of them and kind of behaving as if it's one of them feels like it's his birthright or some kind of, you are here to serve, my friend, So already the attitude towards the whole thing is just, it reads wrong to me, we don't have this idea of being a civil servant or a public servant. That's not how we're approaching it. These are wealth opportunities.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people are there to make up for some money they lost because they tried the last time and so on and so forth. And it's like all this kind of posturing kind of thing. I'm not into it, So that's my two pence. It doesn't mean that anybody needs to go buy what I've said, but I said what I said,
Right.
I'm just more concerned about the youth.
The youth.
And the direction in which Ghana could go or already is going. It's not a smear campaign. I have nothing personal against those guys. As a matter of fact, the guy who's an actor, I love him as an actor.
Okay.
Absolutely love him as an actor. And I feel like we've missed an opportunity. If he has so much ambition, what is he doing for the film
industry?
Come on, man. Like, what's going on, bro? You see what I mean? I love him.
So it feels like misplaced priorities.
Bro, Charlie, it's like...
Because the both of them are actors.
You know the thing already, but you won't make our account talk now. Get but you know the thing already. We will not be kiddies,
Yeah.
We will not be kiddies, I'm in my 40s now. I don't want anybody to come and play around with me,
Right.
So when I see these kind of things, it annoys me.
If you're to speak to the youth of the Republic of Ghana, what is that two things you'd want to say?
They already know what I say. Give up. Don't bother yourself. But, I say that, not as a general kind of thing, but you really have to look within ourselves because we are not getting the support that we could get. It is time that we really kind of look a bit more inward and be a bit more, when I say irreverent, we have to disrupt.
Okay.
The young people have to disrupt, and I'm not saying that they should go and break and set fire and stuff like that, but we have to start with a disruptive way of thinking, challenging the status quo, re-educating ourselves, undoing all the indoctrination, the things that we were told us, don't question adults, this is the religion you were born with, is what you're supposed to stay with. Question things, challenge, because these guys, they go chop then go, then it's up to you. What are you being left with? So you have to challenge the things that you are not comfortable with.
Right.
Ghanaian youth are super smart, very intelligent, but some timidness there because of the phone, the overweight in a sense, So we have to challenge things for our own betterment.
You want to campaign that?
And be a politician, campaign that? Or
No, you want to campaign the fact that we should challenge.
This is what I'm about. This is what my music is
This
about.
is how far you can go.
This is, but this is my campaign through what I know. Through my arts, through my conversations with young people who I feel like I can say something to inspire them. I always say you have to challenge the status quo and challenge yourself.
Right.
Right. That's really what it's about, man.
My last question. What is it with you and music now? What's new?
Yes. So with music, okay. Wow. I'm working on a new project.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I'm working on a really interesting project.
Okay.
And come on, let me just say it. So, I produced Afrobeats LOL.
Wow.
And that was like FOK and Boys, our album, and it was my understanding of how if FOKM Boys was going to make Afrobeats, how it would sound. You know, that's how we worked on that project. And now I'm going back to my bag to produce what I would imagine Afrobeats if I was making it in my own terms. You know, but it goes into many different directions. So I'm doing many interesting things. I'm also doing a lot of work in film, like you know, music for film and stuff like that. That's keeping me super busy. And I'm, you know, also I really love to collaborate. So I was in the studio with Familia last week. You know. I was also in the studio with another young lady singer, Yakoto. You know, whose father was an amazing musician. You know? And just, you know, collaborating with other artists and other musicians. And trying to set up a business as well with my business partner, you know, like a kind of media consultancy to support young artists and so on and so forth. So, you know,
that's how you're rolling now.
Yeah. With the good things to support.
Okay, bro. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, my man.
Per the messages we read, per what I'm telling you right now, I've learned a lot from you.
Charlie.
And I know the viewer or whoever called through, who couldn't call through, has learned as well from you. God bless you.
My man.
More grease to your elbows.
I mean, sure.
Presentation style, because
really,
you've been there everywhere. Thank you once again.
Thank you. And, you know, I have to say, you know, I can see that you have a genuine kind of love for supporting young artists and so on and so forth. So don't give up, because we need more people like you to give the youngsters a platform. Because that's where it starts, you know. So we are thankful